And I would assume with the funding that we did last year, we would have a formula to return that to the school divisions and allow so much money to remain here for positions or capital improvement.
It would be up to the board is what we do. Now, I will bring up, and I brought this up with our superintendents last Tuesday. Those who have been here for a while know that we have talked about that chiller for a long time. And it's now 24 years old, and it's ending its life cycle. It's getting to the end of its time.
What is it?
The chiller is what air conditions the building. Yes. The one that was there before probably lasted, I think, 21 or 22 years. They replaced this one somewhere around 1994. So we're at the 24-year mark for this one. We've been nursing it along, and we're getting to the point where it's going to die on us soon if we don't take care of it.
How much does the new one cost?
New one's going to cost us somewhere in the range of $60,000 to $67,000.
So you'll need another, you have $50,000 for capital, you'll need another $6,000? No, $16,000, excuse me.
Right.
And I might recommend that we leave that 50 there, and we take the 60 some out of that 121 carryover.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Because that gives us a
You still
surplus.
have that
Yeah.
cushion. Still have that cushion.
When do we plan on doing that work?
Well, we're getting in quotes right now. Still waiting on another one or two. And then it would be something, the work would come here probably November or whatever. It wouldn't be right now. You can't even get a unit right now. They still got to build because of, of the amount that they have available. So,
Other thing we asked Glenn to look at was air conditioning those labs. And Mr. Tucker, I forgot to talk to you about it. I haven't seen out there. Remember we had the gentleman come by to look at those about 2 years ago? And we may want to talk to him again and come back to see what it would cost to put air conditioning in those labs.
Is that using our current system?
That'd be in addition to.
Or adding the other units you were looking at, like heat pumps, just to those labs?
Yeah, adding, yeah.
Can we cool it off of the current system we have now?
it could not handle the space of the labs.
Okay.
There's a lot of space in those labs. We're talking about carpentry, automotive, welding, electrical.
If we don't drop the ceilings, we looked at that too. It's expensive to try to cool those
Yeah,
other strips off.
yeah, that's right.
What if we increase the size of the unit you're buying?
There'd be a whole lot of other things that have to happen to do that.
As far as duct work and that?
As far as everything.
I think what he
the electrical and
concluded
everything.
last night would be individual units would be more efficient than one big one, yeah, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because if you tried to change everything, I think that would be a huge expense compared to replacing that one piece to take care of what's already being worked.
And maybe we only add one unit this year to one of the labs, and we look over a period of 3 years to add the others, depending on how much carryover money we have. But one thing we still don't know, all of us, is our budget for next year. And so that could play a role in it as well. So.
Which lab is the most important one to go get something done in? I mean, what do you think?
You don't want me to answer that one, because then I'm going to have 3 or 4 other instructors like, why is mine not more important?
Hey, we'll say.
I can tell you which ones are not.
Just pick an apple, draw them out and get
Yeah, going out of that.
They're all important. Now, there's certain ones that have more bays and get hotter than others, but I am not going to step into that. I'm not stepping into that.
Well, I think it's an important thing because we started school earlier in the year in August, and I think if kids are going to learn, they need to be in a comfortable environment, as comfortable as possible. So let them sweat when they get out in the workplace.
I can say that 2 of the rooms have an air-conditioned classroom for their academic portion. 2 of them don't. 2 of them
We definitely need to have air conditioning in the class.
So, if we narrow it down that way, which is the first 2.
We'll try to come back to that board maybe in November with the recommendation. How's that? That gives us a little bit of time to work at it. Both with the chiller, probably we ought to have stuff by then, and then additional cost of a unit or 2 units, depending on how much money we have.
As far as more of this money goes. I would like to see us do a little walkthrough, and I know I've been back in Mr. Graham's lab, and there are places that there's conduit in the ceiling there that has screws from the roof going through it. I mean, screws through the conduit. There
I can see that.
there are some issues that I think we definitely need to address. And possibly we could form a committee of people that want to take a tour through the school and kind of ask every instructor to think about what is going on in their thing. But if we're teaching kids electrical stuff and they're looking up and they've got conduit with screws through it.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. But I think it would be nice to have a little committee of folks that kind of went and talked to every teacher and found out what
And if
they're...
the board wants to form that, that's fine. I would ask the board then to try to have their recommendations by, middle of October, so we can start then working towards it. Because the process of putting in a unit like that can take 6 months, and that would make it ready for the summertime. So.
Well, I'd be more than happy to be on a committee if there are other people that would like to be on that.
I think first, if we have these kind of problems, nobody reported those, that we got screws in the conduit?
Well,
Nobody?
it's something that I noticed that Mr. Graham knows, but Mr. Graham might have not pointed it out to anyone else.
I think it'd be good for the classrooms or the instructors to bring something saying, here's problems that I have, then the second set of eyes may identify more. You know,
Could send out a notice to everybody and say, what issues do you have in your classroom, what needs to be fixed right now? We take that
They've
first.
been there a long time since that roof was changed.
Probably so, yeah. And
Yeah,
then go from
so
there.
maybe we could have the instructors, and this brings up another thing. I think right now in our community and in our country that people have really started to recognize the importance of career technical ed. And I think that it would be great if we went to all the instructors and asked them what their wish list was. And then we go back to our boards. I would hate to see us give this money back to our boards and then come back and try to put something into the next budget. I also think we can go to our community and talk to different people about some changes we can make and improvements we can make. I think that with our economy, things are going really well right now. I think that corporations have money to invest in the future of their workforce, and I think it would be great if we kind of saw what everybody really wanted on their wish list, and they might not get it all, but we can at least know what they want, so we can kind of plan for it for the future as well.
And I think that would answer the statute about returning the funding, as long as and we've talked already, but as long as we earmark it, like we did here, then I think we should be okay. And we can certainly do that, send out what we need in the classrooms, and then go from there.
Another thing too is the roofs here. And I don't know when the last time you looked at a roof project. I know we had this discussion a couple years ago during budget time. And that's something we need to try to budget for a piece at a time, as opposed to try to come up with a couple $1 million one time. We can do it $200,000 increments or something, whatever makes good business sense. I don't think you put a roof on this building for a long time.
We've been redoing the seams. I have a carpenter that does that stuff. So we've been redoing the ones that are peeling up over there. Check it out.
There's another thing that's been getting to me that I would like to see, and when I was on the board last time, I pushed for this. When our instructors have a student that is going to the state or national championships, I would love to see them get some compensation for their days and hours spent here during the summertime. I think pretty much everybody has another job that they work during the summer, and I know that Mr. Huffman spent countless days here over the summer that he didn't get any kind of compensation for, and I think we should reward those teachers, but we're not really rewarding them, we're just kind of compensating them for their time. But we should try to get them to encourage them to go to these national championships and things like that, because it's a great experience, and I think it helps our numbers. our students.
One of the things we've talked about is coming up with the budget by the end of November, and we can include that in the budget discussion, okay? I mean, for us, at Allegheny, we generally pay $100 a day when our staff comes in during the summertime.
$100 a day is a lot better than nothing,
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
We can talk about that in the budget.
Yeah, but I think that would be a great thing for us to talk about.
Back in the day, everybody had a 11-month contract.
Yeah.
So they worked a couple extra weeks before or after,
Yeah.
and any of that time was built in.
Yeah.
And those were lost before I came here. So,
Okay. Well, maybe if you could look into what,
I had some information a few years ago for those of you who were on the board back then, because I questioned different regional centers and what they did, and I had some information, so I can try to pull that back out. It was a pretty good formula that they did, out in Hampton, that they did out there.
was that New Horizons?
Yeah, that was part of theirs, yeah.
I don't care what they're doing down
All
there.
right, on the same sheet, just to let you know, other available funds, our BPSA is up to 107. Now, we are seriously now looking at making this a wireless like all of your schools are. This money can go towards that. So we'll have to start looking into that. Plus still bringing on other computers as we need.
Yeah, you may not get full reimbursement, so some of that carryover could be used for that. It's maybe like 80%.
That's something we'll look at to work with that. The Perkins funding that we're set for this year to come from the two school divisions is $17,102.30. So that is the money that we also have coming in. State equipment money is $9,124.70. And the industry certification went up a little bit this year, $2,122.96. Still doesn't pay for it. You know, if I have a full class of nurse aid students, that pretty well wipes it out right there, $94 a test. You know, at least we do get some compensation for that. So those are other funds that we can use or have to use. The Perkins, the state equipment and industry certification has to be used. The BPSA can roll along until it needs to be used. Any questions on anything at this point? Besides looking into the compensation, is there any other things out of this that I need to look into at the moment? I guess the only other thing we'll talk about is a monthly administrator's report. We've gotten off to a good start. Except just like you all, as we've already been talking about, you know, we are concerned with the weather too. In the past, we haven't had the issues like maybe down there to where we may have some issues with the river and such, but we have had issues of water coming down off the hill, so we're going to be doing the best we can to barricade the water rushing down to keep it out of our bay doors, rushing right into it. Auto would be the things, you know, so we've got some items that we're going to help blockade the door with. Try to keep any of that coming. So hopefully we won't get it, but we'll do the best we can to prepare for it.
If it runs down to those doors, is there a drain to catch it?
There is a drain in the back lot.
Is it
But
big
then-
enough? Be the next question.
But then again, the drain runs into down here, this little stream that goes down beside the road, and I guess if that fills up and it starts to back up, there could be issues. But as it comes, if it's really rushing down the hill, you got the one drain sort of over here, and then the rest of the way, it's just coming. Now, it has to go back up a little bit to get to the doors, but if it's rushing hard enough, the potential's there. I think in '85, they did have it push on the doors, you know, to go against. I wasn't here then, so I can't speak to that.
A bit of ditching and stop that problem. It wouldn't be a lot of problem.
The ditch on that new property that we bought across the road.
Put one up high to catch it before it ever gets down this far. Might be your best bet and divert it around.
We'll see if we get it. You know, we haven't had that issue since I've been here. Just in an extreme, which some people have talked about this, you know, maybe being one of those extremes. So we'll see where we are with that. Any questions, anything going on here?